Are you tired of gardening in the hot weather? Don't give up. Cooler weather is right around the corner. Now is one of the best times of the year to start seeds. There are so many incredible things that you can plant in August, especially crops 1, 2, 4, 25, and 29. You have to see this. What's growing on, gardeners? It's Thursday, July 25th, and it's hard to believe, but another month is coming to an end here on the southeastern coast of North Carolina. August is one of the biggest, best months of the entire year for seed starting, and on today's video, I'm going to show you a whopping 33 veggies that you can plant from seed in August.
If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and check out my Amazon store and Spreadshop links in the video description for everything I use in my garden and awesome custom apparel and gear.
As a point of reference, I live on the southeastern coast of North Carolina, Zone 8B, just outside of the Wilmington, North Carolina area, and my first frost is usually the first or second week of November. The overwhelming majority of people in the United States see their first frost either in October or November. So for the purposes of this video, I am assuming that come early August, you are about 60 to 100 days away from your first frost. If you live in a more extreme climate where you have either very short summers or you get little to no frost, scale your personal dates to start these veggies accordingly. One of the amazing things about starting seed in August is that you have time to start seeds for your summer garden, your fall garden, and your winter garden. And we are going to start off with some warm season vegetables that you can still plant. Crops 1 through 3 that you can start in August are cucumbers, squashes like zucchini, and very small melons that have a general days to maturity of 60 days or less. So here I have a few examples of what those crops would be. For example, this variety of zucchini right here, called Sure Thing, has only 48 days to maturity. This cucumber variety, called Merlin, is ready in only 50 to 55 days, and very small melons like this Kajari melon is also ready in 2 months or less. So assuming that most people still have roughly 75 days or so left of warm weather, if you start these seeds today, they will germinate in only about 3 to 4 days, and you will be picking your first things in probably only about 2 months. I just planted this bed full of zucchini this past week, and believe it or not, these zucchini were only started from seed 4 weeks ago. That is how quickly they grow, and they are already beginning to make their first flowers. So more than likely, I will be eating off of these zucchini in only about a month's time from now. Same thing with these cucumber plants. I sowed these seeds 4 weeks ago. They germinated in only 3 days, and then about 3 weeks later, they were ready to come out into the garden. They're already making their little tassels. They're already starting to produce their first flowers that I can see starting. That is how incredibly fast Cucurbits can produce for you. So if you don't expect to see your first frost until October or later, you still have time to start a new crop of fast-fruiting Cucurbits. Crop number 4 that you can start in August is one of my favorite fast-producing late summer veggies, and that is string beans, also sometimes called green beans. This Burpee's Tender Pod variety, believe it or not, is only 50 days to maturity after germination. So get yourself some fast-fruiting, low days to maturity green beans, and you still have plenty of time to get a big harvest. Believe it or not, I just planted these string beans last week, and in only 7 days, I have total germination. The soil is so warm right now that things started germinating in only 3 days. So even though the summer is starting to wind down and I just planted these, I will easily be eating out of this bed by September. Crops 5 through 14 are your cabbage-related brassicas. I'm talking about bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collards, kale, kohlrabi, mustard greens, and rapini, sometimes called broccoli rabe. These brassicas are very sensitive to warm temperatures. They want to exist in a 55 to 65 degree Fahrenheit range at all times. And for this reason, they tend to grow a lot better in the fall than they do in the spring. When you grow these in late winter and they mature throughout the spring, the middle of spring tends to get wonky with temperatures and you'll get warm days. And that can totally mess up your harvest because it will make these very heat sensitive brassicas bolt on you, or the heads will fall apart and they'll be lower quality. Well, the temperatures actually work with you in the fall because things are cooling down as they grow, so you'll get tighter heads of broccoli, tighter heads of cabbage, things like that. Overall, everything winds up being better quality. Now, that being said, because it is still warm in most places this time of year, generally speaking, you're going to want to start these brassicas indoors in transplant trays because it's probably still too warm and the heat stress will get to them. So if you start your brassicas in seed trays now indoors, they usually take about 6 weeks before they are ready from transplant from the day you sow that seed. So time that so it'll be generally cooler outside. So here on the southeastern coast of North Carolina, I don't really want to transplant them until the end of September, so I will wait another week or two before I start my brassicas because I can't bring these out in the first half of September. It's still too warm here. But if you're in a further north place, now may be the ideal time. So be sure that you time sowing your brassica seeds in such a way so when they're ready to transplant out 6 weeks after you start that seed, most of the heat waves are gone. They can tolerate a little bit of warmth and some sporadic warm temperatures when they're small, but you really want them to come to maturity when it's nice and cool out and the temperatures are consistently in the 50s and 60s. Crops 15 through 21 are your cold-tolerant root crops, such as beets, carrots, daikon, parsnips, turnips, rutabagas, and Swiss chard. Yes, I know that turnips and rutabagas are technically brassicas, but they fit more closely into the root category than they do into the cabbage-like brassica category that I just gave you before. Also, I know that Swiss chard is technically not eaten for the root most of the time. It's eaten for the greenery, but they are very similar to beet greens, so they fit better into this category. You'll also notice that I didn't include regular standard radishes just yet, and that's because they tend to not do well because they are only about 20 to 30 days to maturity from the day you sow that seed, and it is just too warm for the overwhelming majority of us to grow good quality radishes right now. All of the root vegetables that I just mentioned are cold tolerant. They can tolerate frost and freeze, sometimes a very hard frost and freeze. And the reason why we want to wait until later in the year to plant these is because their sugar content is inversely proportional to temperature. What that means is the cooler the weather is when they mature, the higher the sugar content. When these roots mature and it's still very warm out, they tend to be very starchy. But if you plant them later into the year, so they mature when it's nice and cool, you will get sweeter tasting roots. So for that reason, it's so hot here in southeastern North Carolina, I don't even bother growing these things in the middle of the summer because they just don't taste all that good. So plan your planting so when you actually have them mature, it's nice and cool out. Also, all of these things should be direct sown. Root vegetables do not like being disturbed. So direct sow them out into your garden. Don't start them as transplants. Crops 22 through 24 that you can plant from seed in August are your Alliums leeks, bunching onions, and chives. Now, don't confuse any of those things with your standard bulbing onions. They have to be grown from late winter into the summer because your bulbing onions need the long days of summer to bulb properly. It's also going to be way too early for most people to plant things like garlic out into their garden because they need chill. So if you were to plant your garlic cloves this early, they would sprout on you in no time flat. Your leeks, your bunching onions, and your chives are different because we eat them for the greenery. We do not eat them for the bulbs. So bunching onions are grown to specifically harvest the greens. Those are sold as spring onions in the grocery store. Of course, we all know how to eat chives. They're clipped into little green bits that we sprinkle on top of our food. And things like leeks, we eat the entire leek from the top to the bottom, but they don't bulb very large. All of these things are extremely cold hardy. In fact, when you start all of these things in the late summer, if you let them grow and mature throughout the fall, once it gets cold, they will stand in your garden, meaning they won't really grow much, and you can treat the outdoors like a giant refrigerator. Things like leeks, once they are mature and standing out into your garden, they can take below 0 temperatures, and bunching onions are pretty darn cold hardy as well. In fact, I live in zone 8. I have never found a cold temperature where any of these things have taken damage once they become mature, and we've gotten as cold as 14 degrees since I've been growing in my garden out here. So I can confirm that these things are not damaged by 14-degree temperatures, and if you cover them, you can go way lower on the thermometer. Crop number 25 that you should plant from seed in August are your warm season lettuces, like your romaines and your other bolt-resistant, heat-tolerant lettuces. These lettuces actually are pretty sensitive to frost, so they don't do well in the dead of winter. They can't take a really hard freeze like a leaf lettuce can, but it's still, generally speaking, way too warm to grow leaf lettuces. They will bolt on you and become bitter really quickly. Warm season romaines like this giant Caesar variety do not do well at all with frost and freeze, but they do tend to handle the heat, and they don't get bitter when temperatures are still really warm. Now is the perfect time to grow your warm season lettuce, because if you germinate them indoors in about 6 weeks, you will have lots of transplants to go out into your garden. That'll fall in September when it's still decently warm, but it's cooled down nicely. They will still grow at a rapid rate because the days are sufficiently long enough, and then you'll get into October, and then they will more or less stand in your garden, and they will keep their sweetness, and you will have a flexibility for a while to harvest them. And if you do get a frost or a freeze that's light, you can just pull a sheet or a frost blanket over them, and that will protect them from damage as long as the frost doesn't get below, say, 30 degrees or so. A good cover will keep them out in your garden for quite some time, because the first frosts and freezes of the fall are usually pretty intermittent. So now is the ultimate time to grow some romaine lettuce seeds. I'm probably going to start mine indoors because it's a little bit too hot out yet to start them outdoors, but if you live north of me, you may even be able to direct sow them and have really good results. Crops 26 through 28 are your bitter leaf vegetables like endive, escarole, and radicchio. These things, for whatever reason, are very underrepresented in the garden, but they are very cold tolerant. So if you start your transplants now, they can stand out into your garden pretty well into winter in most climates. I think the reason why they aren't very popular is because people just don't know what to do with them. Well, radicchio is a very common thing that you find in bagged salad mixes. They will be the red striped leaves that are in there. It's very delicious raw. And things like escarole and endive, you can make salads out of them, but they're really good in soups and stews. So if you're interested in something adventurous to grow, soup and stew season is coming up soon. So if you like to have some bitter greens that stew really well, I highly recommend you give them a try. Crop number 29 that you can plant from seed in August are peas. And when I say peas, I mean shelling peas, snap peas, and snow peas. Peas are a great crop to grow from midsummer into the fall because they become very sweet when you harvest them in the cool weather, but they are not very frost and freeze tolerant. While the plants themselves can tolerate a hard freeze, the pods tend to split and take some damage. So if you were to get an early frost or freeze, you should cover them to protect the fruits. Now, I am very happy that I made this video because as I was rooting through my seeds to use as props for the video, I realized I planted all of my peas in spring. So now I'm going to go out and order some more pea seeds online because I don't want to miss the window that I have to plant peas, because I kind of need to thread them so they mature in October. So when you select the peas that you're going to grow, make sure that you get yourself a variety that has a days to maturity that will, in theory, mature for you about 2 weeks at least before your last frost date. That way you'll have a little bit of flexibility to harvest, and if you need to cover them, it should be pretty straightforward to just put a sheet or a frost blanket over them in the event of an early frost. Crops 30, 31, and 32 that you can plant from seed in August are your annual herbs, dill, parsley, and basil. And this is a great example of why it is just so versatile to start seed in August. That is because your crops parsley and dill are cold hardy. Your parsley is very cold hardy. Your dill is moderately cold hardy. They can all take a frost, but your basil is frost tender. However, the reason why this all works is because things like basil germinate so quickly, and after only about 4 weeks after germination, you will have a pretty significant basil plant. So about 4 weeks ago, I started dill and basil simultaneously from seed. You can see all of the dill in the front, and you can see all of the basil in the back. This is a mix of Genovese green basil and purple basil as well. So because these germinate so quickly, you can get a harvest out of them very quickly. This basil, you could even start picking them. It's become root bound because I've let them sit in this container too long. This basil plant was started from seed at the exact same time as those other basil plants, but because I transplanted it, it was able to grab hold and it didn't become root bound. So you can see how much larger this basil plant is. This is what you can expect in terms of size less than a month after you sow the seeds when it's nice and warm out. That is how fast basil grows, so you'll get an immediate harvest. Parsley and dill, on the other hand, bolt in warm temperatures. This is some parsley that was grown out in full sun, and as you can see, the plant is absolutely torched. But a very different picture emerges when you see this parsley plant that I'm growing in full shade protected underneath this fig tree. This one never did bolt because it is in shade the entire time, and the shade helps keep it cool, and the lack of direct sunlight helps prevent the bolting process. So I still have beautiful parsley despite how hot it is. Unfortunately, I can't show you an active example of dill growing in my garden because it is even more heat sensitive than parsley. It has long since bolted and gone to seed. That's why we have to wait until the fall in most cases before we can plant dill again. If you live in a place where it's still very warm in August, this is another example of a plant you'll probably want to start indoors in seed cells. That way they won't become damaged by the heat, and then you can transplant them out into your garden in September when things have sufficiently cooled off. And crop number 33 that you can start from seed in August is a crop that I've struggled to grow from seed for years, but I think I finally cracked the code, and that is celery. Now, celery is frost tolerant, but it can't take really hard freezes when it's young, and it also doesn't like a lot of heat. So I think the key to really getting celery growing is to start it in late summer and have it mature throughout the fall, and then let it stand in your garden during the winter once it has sufficiently matured, because then it finally becomes cold hardy. Celery can be a little bit difficult to grow because the seeds take a while to germinate and it takes a long time for them to become sufficiently sized transplants. So I will start these indoors now because they will probably take close to 6 to 8 weeks before it's appropriate to actually plant them out into my garden. Then they will go into my garden in late September, where they will gain maturity throughout the rest of September and October. They will become larger, and they will then be hardened off to the frosts of November. So I think the timing is everything when it comes to growing celery. If you'd like to give yourself a challenge, consider growing celery. And that right there are 33 crops that you can start from seed in August. Now, I did my best to give a very general and fairly comprehensive list of things that you can start from seed right now, but I didn't include absolutely everything on purpose. For example, there are a lot of perennial herbs that are cold hardy, like sage, oregano, thyme, rosemary, and lavender, but we generally don't grow those from seed. We don't consider them annuals, and that is what I'm focusing on in this video. And I also didn't include things like mint and lemon balm because they can be quite invasive, and I didn't want to necessarily promote invasive herbs that everybody can grow. I also left out things like spinach, arugula, cold hardy leaf lettuces, and cilantro because these things are highly prone to bolting and it needs to be sufficiently cool, and for the overwhelming majority of people it's probably still way too early to start them, so look out for more seed starting and planting videos later in the year. I tried to do one like these every single month as a refresher. The end result of this lesson: know your hardiness zone. If you live in an extreme climate that has very short summers or very long frost-free periods, you need to tailor these dates accordingly. For the overwhelming majority of people, this information is going to be pretty accurate, and as always, this video is general. I'm trying to make one for the entire northern hemisphere as best as possible, so consider that when you're making these decisions. So everybody, I sure hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please ring that notification bell so you're notified when I release more videos like this. If you're curious about any of the products that I use in real life in my garden, all the products I use are linked down in my Amazon storefront, so expand the video description, click on the Amazon link, you'll see everything I use in real life, and while you're down there, please check out my spread shop for custom merch if you want to support the channel. I'll also place some direct links for some seeds that I featured in this video if you're interested in growing some of the exact varieties that I'm growing. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again on the next video.
Dale, is there something that you want? Where are you leading me? Where are we going? We're going in here? Oh, you want us to go for a walk? Oh, you want to go for a walk, buddy? Oh, it's kind of early for a walk. Oh, that's okay. You know what? It's nice and overcast and cool. So we should go now while the clouds are out before it gets too hot and sunny. What do you say, buddy? You want to go for a walk? Oh, boy. Okay, let's go.